Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this Pick a Card reading. So, in today's reading, we're going to be looking at your divine inheritance. What aspect of your divine inheritance is unlocking for you now, is activating for you now in your life, and kind of looking at the really positive things that you've been working towards, either consciously or subconsciously, that are going to be manifesting for you. The kind of energy that I felt when I was tuning in for this reading is that your hard work is paying off. I feel like there's just this sort of energy right now, especially as we're approaching the Capricorn full moon, which is when I'm filming this reading. There's sort of this energy of working really hard and kind of wanting there to be more of a payoff, or wanting to have more, evidence, I suppose, of the results that you're working so hard for. So I hope this reading can offer some clarity and just kind of meet you where you're at this time. It is, of course, a timeless reading, so whenever you receive it is perfect. I also just wanted to say that I've just released a new light language tape. It is called Return to Belonging, and it really focuses on the root chakra and kind of themes around belonging and finding kind of your people in the world, finding soul family, finding a sense of like feeling at home on the earth and in your own body. There's also sort of trauma clearing, ancestral clearing as well that went into that one. It was a really powerful light language healing, I have to say, when I was channeling it. It came through, there was like a really strong kind of energy that it came through with. And as I was listening to it back, I was like, wow, this really, this really feels good. Like, it's one of those ones that feels really nice to listen to. Like, it's kind of giving the energy body a massage, So if you resonate, then the link will be in the description box below, and I'll pin it in the comments as well. Go and read about it and see if it would, be right for you at this time. And we're going to get into the reading now. So we have 3 groups to choose from. Group 1 is 6th house with sustainability. Group 2 is 11th house with community. And group number 3 is Pluto with rebirth. So choose one or more groups for the messages that you're meant to hear at this time, and then I'll see you for your reading. Hello, group 1, and welcome to your reading. So your divine inheritance. First of all, I'm feeling from spirit and from your spirit guide team that they want to acknowledge that you've been working really hard in your life. You've been working really hard towards certain goals, certain aspirations that you have, and you've been working in a way that feels more sustainable this time. I feel like you may have had issues with burnout in the past, or just cycles of maybe feeling like really inspired and then maybe going through cycles of kind of losing your energy or your inspiration or your motivation or something. Whereas I'm feeling some level of sustainability in your lifestyle and in the things that you're working towards that feels kind of new, and it is part of your divine inheritance, is to kind of embody a more sustainable way of living rather than like having huge energy fluctuations or spikes and dips. And I feel like this is going to be really satisfying for you, because what it's going to mean is that your hard work will feel like more like it's paying off. You're going to get more kind of results for the things that you're working towards, because it's just like, for example, the 6th house talks about our health routine, our everyday habits. It also talks about like our work, like how we are of service, particularly about being of service to the world, kind of how we can focus our life on being of service to others and to the collective, like part of our sort of divine mission. I like to think of it as our mission. The 6th house is ruled by Virgo, and Virgo is a very psychic sign as well. So I'm getting something here with the psychic abilities. See, the chakras are all depicted in this card. There's an alignment energy here. Just so you have some idea about the 6th house, it's also about taking care of people, like taking care of animals, of sort of loved ones, people who may be sick or elderly, that kind of thing. So kind of like being of service. And it's very like sort of self-sacrificing, I suppose, in a way. It does focus on the self, as in you have to be looking after yourself to be able to look after others. But there is still this focus outwards. And I feel like that is actually really important for a sense of well-being, is we want to feel like we're doing something for the world as well. Like, it's really important, I feel, for feeling like you're feeling like you have a place in the world. So I'm seeing that coming in for you, like maybe feeling more clear about what your divine role is, what your divine purpose is. Like I'm feeling you being really in touch with your purpose. and also making really great momentum with certain goals and aspirations that you have, particularly to do with your health. I'm seeing as well you might be going through a glow up. I feel like you are going through a glow up. Okay, this card really makes me think of like glowing up, because when you work at something sustainably, you get better at it. When you work at something for a long time, you end up getting results. So you're on the cusp of receiving results. I feel like you've already been getting signs and synchronicities from the universe about the results that are coming in. I feel like you've been getting glimpses of it. You've been having flashes of it. Things have started to change and you've been noticing. But I feel like there's still been, like, it's just the tip of the iceberg. I want to say it's the tip of the iceberg. You've just been seeing the tip, and there's like so much more to come in for you. I want to come back to this message around energy levels, because I feel like that is something that you've been fighting for. You've been fighting to have something be more sustainable in your life. And like, I really want to make it clear, like, when you are sustainable is when you get results. Like, that's what Spirit's sort of showing me. It's just like, for example, if you want to change your health and say you're changing your eating pattern, well, it's like you kind of have to be consistent, right? And show up in a reliable way in order to get the result from that change. Otherwise, it just won't sort of make an impact. It won't make a dent. And I feel like you've been really patient and consistent and been doing things in a more sustainable way, in a way where you can kind of achieve it. Like you're not doing it in a way that's like too extreme, or that might not be, because the other thing about sustainability is sometimes if we don't put enough in, that can also be unsustainable, just like if we put too much and we go too hard. But if you don't do enough, then it's not sustainable, because you won't get the payoff, like the reward of actually getting some results. So I'm kind of seeing you get like really getting the balance right of like putting just enough in so that you get sort of the feedback from the universe of like, okay, this is moving somewhere, this is going somewhere, but at the same time you're doing it in a way where you can be sustainable at it. You can keep doing it every day, because the sixth house talks about things you got to do every single day in order to kind of progress in your life. So I'm getting a really strong message here around health, your body, and like the way that your body kind of looks as a result of the way that we care for it, because our choices can really show up in our body and the way that we kind of appear in the world. Like, I'm getting something a lot about appearance here. So I'm seeing your appearance may have started to change a little bit, or people may have noticed this, even maybe before you've noticed something like this. I'm seeing some kind of a glow up with your appearance is part of your divine inheritance, like feeling a lot more comfortable in your body, feeling positive about the way that you look, feeling like attractive. And I feel like that embodiment is actually going to really carry you towards more of your goals in life. Like, I'm seeing something about the embodiment really being an important like ingredient in the recipe for your success. Like, in order to kind of carry off certain goals that you have, you need the presence, the confidence, and the embodiment in your physical vessel to do that. So whether you've been working on that overtly, or if it's just been happening subconsciously as you've been healing different sort of emotional processes within yourself, that has been working for you. It has been paying off. Even doing things like meditation can clear space in the energetic field, so your aura can shine more brightly. That's sort of the energy that I'm getting. The other sort of like theme I'm getting from this card is around your work, but especially your work in terms of your more like spiritual mission. I feel like for this group, your work is aligned with your spiritual mission, even if that is surprising for you to hear, but most of you, I think, would understand that. But some of you might be like, really? But yeah, I'm getting that it is. Like, what you do as your job is aligned to your spiritual mission and aligned to like your soul's intentions for your lifetime. So I'm seeing some level of divine inheritance coming in to do with something that you are working on, like how you are being of service. And I'm getting as well a message from Spirit that Spirit wants you to like keep going. Spirit saying keep going and sort of don't give up, because sometimes when you're working in this way where it's like slow progress and it might not be these huge because with the sixth house, again, it's like talking about things you do every single day, right? And it's like the results might be slow to come in, but when they come in, it will be sustainable and it will be well worth the effort. So Spirit's saying be aware of any kind of self-sabotage that might creep in and make you kind of want to, I don't know, like eat off plan and like lose that momentum, because the momentum is your friend. Like, there's something, or like you want to skip class, or there's something here about like self-sabotage where it's like you might want to just like be like, whatever, I don't need to go today, or I'm not going to try today. And that's coming from some kind of a place where it's like you're actually getting really close to success. And when we get really close to success, sometimes those old habits, those old patterns of self-sabotage can surface and kind of like be this voice in your ear being like, why don't you just like not even do it today? Why don't you just stop doing this thing? And it's like, why would you do that when you're so close to success? So I'm seeing like spirit saying, keep going. Like the momentum is your friend in this case, and it's going to get to a point where it's easier. I feel like a lot of you guys are working towards something. I'm getting like the typical, people who are on a health or a fitness journey, or if you're working to build a business or to build like something to do with your mission, like you're wanting to put your art out there or your work out there in some way. And you're not always going to get immediate results, right? It's going to take a little bit of time, a little bit of momentum, but it will end up carrying itself. But I'm just getting that thing of keep going, because it's kind of like, the typical like old school water pumps where it's like you have to pump, and then the water will slowly start to come out, and then it will keep going and keep going and keep going. And then that tap is just like flowing with all this water. But if you stop pumping, then that water's going to stop, and you're going to have to build that momentum up from the ground up again, right? So it's sort of like a message here is to keep going, please don't self-sabotage, your guides are saying, because you're so close. And I feel like any kind of impulses within you at this time to step away from your path, or to give up, or to stop trying, or to even just like, I don't know, go off plan in some way. I just feel like for the place that you're in right now, it's better to be more sort of consistent and reliable with what you're working towards. Because I'm getting that in the future, there will be more time and space for flexibility. It's not like you have to be this disciplined forever and ever and ever. It's just that for the place that you're in, you're building a certain level of momentum. So you want to keep it going. You want to keep it flowing, just like that water pump. You want to keep that water flowing, or else you stop, you walk away, and then you got to come back and start again. And that's just sort of exhausting, right? So it's like, I'm just getting that even if it feels hard, even if there's parts of you that are like, oh my God, can I even keep doing this? Or you're putting a lot of effort in and you're wondering where the results are and stuff. Spirit's saying keep going, because it's actually going to lead you towards a breakthrough. And once you reach that breakthrough, there's a lot more flexibility and time sort of available to you to be a lot more flexible and to kind of, do whatever you want. Again, in a certain way, like there's something here about you got to be kind of strict and disciplined for a while. But there will come a time where you can kind of be a little bit more flexible and free. And also I'm getting that you're breaking patterns of self-sabotage here. You're breaking patterns of self-sabotage. There's something about you don't want to self-sabotage because it's an old energy. And sometimes when we're breaking patterns, like that pattern will come back in and be like, hey, do you wanna hang out again? Do you wanna come down, like hang out with me again? And you kind of have to say no to that pattern and be like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, for example, it might even be embodied by a person because it just came through like that, like, hello, do you want to hang out? So it might be somebody that when you hang out with them, you know that you drink too much alcohol, or you, I don't know, end up eating junk food, or you end up, I don't know, like whatever, just like something about their influence isn't really good for you. And you know that you're kind of like, it's not really a part of where you're going or what you're trying to do. So I'm just getting something like that. Like it might be embodied as a person where you have to kind of say no and be like, no, sorry, I can't hang out. I'm focusing on this thing right now. Because I'm just you're getting close to mastery of some kind. Like you're going to kind of, I'm seeing graduate from this period that you're in. I don't know what the time frame is for some of you. Like I'd say the longest time frame is maybe 6 months. So it's not actually that long in the scheme of all things. I'm seeing the longest time frame would be like 6 months. So you just got to keep going, even if it feels like you're kind of like, oh my God, how am I doing this? I got to keep going, because it's like the momentum is your friend, and you're going to look back at this period of your life and be like, wow, I really achieved something big there. I really just did that thing. And you're going to have tangible results for it, whether it's with your health, with your physical appearance, or something like that, where it's like going to be literally embodied in your life. But it's also with your health. It's like if you're working towards health, emotional, physical, spiritual, mental, I mean, they're all one, but whatever aspect you might be working on, think about it like, because I feel like there's some level of discipline. That's the energy that I'm picking up, I suppose, in this group. And discipline is your friend right now. Like I feel like discipline is here, and it's also your friend. Spirit saying don't shy away from discipline, or I guess like you're doing it in a sustainable way, but there might be parts of you that feel like, oh my God, I wish I could just go off plan or like go and stop working for a while or have a break or something. And I'm just getting that for some reason it's not the time. Okay, it's just not energetically the right time. And I'm just getting that that's not the solution. Like that urge that might come up where you want to, I don't know if you're like getting like, it's sort of like I'm getting someone like training, like it's almost like getting a qualification of some kind, like spiritually, like in your path. And that's right, divine inheritance. It's like this divine inheritance, it needs to be worked for right now. Like you're working in this way, whether it's with your work or health. Those are the kind of themes that I'm getting, or, interpret it how you want to, I suppose, with some kind of discipline. It might be like working to end toxic relationships with others. So it's like you have to be really disciplined to like not call that person or not text them or something like that. There's something here, it's like where you have just this period, it's going to be harder to have that discipline, but it's also your friend. Like it really is your friend. And the part in you that wants to go against that discipline and kind of like rebel against that is actually self-sabotage. It's actually the old pattern that is trying to like surface and be like, why don't I just go off plan and just, call this person up and I'll just go hang out with this person that I know is not right for me. And it's like that energy in you is kind of like dying out, and it's almost going to feel at times like where you're like kind of like because you have to like hold strong while it's fading away. That pattern is like fading away, and at the end of this time period, like I said, maybe 6 months, maybe shorter for some of you, we're all at different points in our life, but at the end you're going to feel like mastery. You're going to feel mastery over this. Like that urge to have toxic relationships with people in your life is going to be gone. You're going to be like, you know what? I do not desire this at all. Because the part in you that was desiring that and that was trying to self-sabotage kind of thing, it's like it's faded away. It's been integrated with love and it's not there anymore. But as it's fading away, it might be like kicking and screaming a bit. Or if you're trying to change your diet, right? And because like junk food, I feel like is like actually really addictive. It can be like highly addictive substances within there. Fast food and things like that is very, very highly addictive. And so, for example, if you're trying to change your diet and to eat more whole foods and in a more like grounded kind of way that honors your body, then you might have some crazy cravings at different points where it's like, oh my God, and the gut bacteria that's used to eating that food might be literally like screaming at you like, come and eat that, come and eat that. And it's like if you just hold strong and you don't give in to that, then you're going to be at the other side where you don't crave that anymore. So it's sort of like craving. So it's kind of the energy that I'm getting, but apply it to your own life. It's kind of like when you go through cravings, or like if someone's going, trying to go sober or something like that, which could very well be this group as well, because sobriety is, connected in with health and things like that. So there's a period where it's like it takes discipline, right? It takes maintenance every single day and holding that discipline thing, but it won't be this hard forever. I guess that's what Spirit wants you to know. It won't feel this hard forever. It won't feel like you have to have such intense discipline forever. It's just this period where it will be the hardest, and it's the hardest at the beginning. That's the other thing. It's the hardest at the beginning. And sometimes like Spirit's also saying we don't even need to have motivation at times. We just need to have momentum, okay? Because when you start something, usually it's because you're inspired. You're like, I'm inspired. I want to change my life. I want to have healthy relationships, or I want to have a healthy body, or I want to change the way that my appearance, the way I'm embodied in my appearance or something, or I want to change, I want to get ahead of my career. I want to make a difference in the world. Oftentimes we start with a huge amount of inspiration. We start with a huge amount of life force, which is really divine. We're divinely imbued with this life force energy where we're like, I'm going to start, I'm going to go for it, I'm motivated, I'm going to make a change, I'm going to do it. And then we get to a certain point, like a couple months in or less, whatever, and we hit a brick wall and it's like, oh my God, I don't have any motivation left. I don't have any inspiration left. I just want to go back to the old patterns. I just want to go back to that old shit because it's easier, or because, you're facing that resistance where you have to sort of like heal something deeply before you can pass through. Spirit saying in that time, momentum is your friend. Just the fact that you've gone for so many days without something, or you've gone for so many days working towards it, or you've gone for so many days changing the way that you show up, that is what becomes your friend, the habit that you're starting to form. And this card actually talks about habits that we have. So Spirit's saying keep going because you're internalizing the habit and it's going to become easier. It's going to become like second nature. But if you keep going back and kind of sabotaging and going back to that old thing, that old substance, that old way, that old person, then it's just going to kind of like keep you in that withdrawal phase for longer and longer and longer, and in like kind of draw out the suffering process. Now, of course, use your own intuition. Always use your discernment, use your intuition, because sometimes there is a non-linear process that we have to go through when we are leaving someone, or when we are ending a cycle in our life, when we're ending a relationship with, a way of coping, like a coping mechanism, like food or something like this. So it's like, don't be hard on yourself if you go backwards, because sometimes going backwards is also about going forwards. It's just that it's not a linear process. But overall, the message here is about self-sabotage and being really, really consciously aware and discerning around, am I doing this for the right reasons? Or is it that I'm on the precipice of major change and there's a part in me that's afraid of that? And then realizing like, okay, I can actually deal with this in a different way. And I feel like you're super hyper aware, like you're very conscious. I feel like, see, the person on this card is like meditating and all their chakras are aligned. Like, you are a very conscious being, and Spirit's saying use that to your advantage, because you're actually really aware of things as they're happening. So you can kind of keep going with that. Keep going with that awareness. It's going to help you with the discernment. And like I said, if you are in the middle of feeling like this discipline is hard, then know that it will get easier and it will become like second nature. You're integrating something, because on the other side, it's going to be so easy for you. Like for some of you, I feel like this actually could be about sobriety, and Spirit saying on the other side, it's going to be so easy to stay sober, and you're going to have that thing replaced. That's the other thing. When we release something, there's usually a void period before it gets replaced in our life. And that's the period when we want to go back to it, because we're like, oh my God, I'm out here, and I don't have this thing that I used to have as my safety blanket, or as my thing that would keep me afloat or help me. And so it is really easy to want to go back to that behavior, to that substance, to that person, to that sense of security, or to that pattern of even just self-sabotaging and not living in your potential or something like that. Because as soon as we start to make change, we also face blocks, we face resistances. That's actually part of the growth. It's actually part of us stepping into our power. So Spirit's kind of saying to reframe any resistances that you face as actually being good, because it's like proof that you're making progress. It's proof that you're moving through something and you're making changes in your life. And it's going to be something, like I said, I'm feeling an effortlessness coming in for you. That's your divine inheritance. It's overcoming some kind of a toxic thing. Like for some of you, if it's career based, then it's like you're overcoming a pattern where it's like you weren't living in your potential. You were holding yourself back. And I mean, this is relevant for all of you in this group, but it's like specifically I saw a career like in my third eye descent. But for all of you, this is about you stepping into your fullest potential and not holding yourself back, not self-sabotaging anymore. I'm feeling a really strong self-sabotage theme, but it just might be playing out in different arenas for each of you as I talk. It might sort of light up different areas of your life. But this is your divine inheritance, is you really stepping into your fullest potential and clearing out whatever patterns exist within you that may have kept you from that full potential, that full like divine embodiment. And that's what you're going to be getting as your divine inheritance, is this effortless sort of embodiment of all that you are. I'm feeling like a really positive energy where you're going to be feeling tangible success, like tangibly successful once you've overcome this self-sabotage pattern. So just hold in strong, like use your discipline, because you have a lot of willpower. You actually have a huge amount of willpower. That's what I'm getting. It's giving me shivers. Like you are very, very connected into God, to Spirit, to the angels, to have this level of willpower, because I feel like you're doing this in a way because you know that it's the right thing, you know that it's in alignment, and I just see you not giving up. So let's pull a couple more cards for you. Group number 1, Spirit, what do you want them to know about their divine inheritance? What do you want them to know about their divine inheritance? Midheaven Pinnacle. That's right. Elevation and first house arrival. See, you're going to be looking different from this process. Like, it doesn't matter what area of life that you've been thinking of as I've been talking, you're going to be looking different from it, okay? Because first house is about your appearance, and midheaven is about like the way that the world sees you, like right at the top of your birth chart. This is an astrology deck. So it's like right at the top of your birth chart is your midheaven. And it's like the way that you are seen kind of on the public stage, like the stage of life, especially can really relate to career, because it's close to the 10th house, which is the house of career and public relations and things like this. So by the end, like what you're receiving in your divine inheritance is actually an arrival into your destiny. Like you are arriving into your destiny, and you're arriving there looking really good. All right, you're going to be looking so good. You're going to be looking transformed, especially as well. I know I've talked about health and like actual habits that might change your appearance, but I'm also getting the trauma that you're clearing. Like you're clearing traumatic events from your past, and you're clearing like patterns that have been to do with kind of like ways that may have been maintained in your body. Like, because sometimes we subconsciously are kind of like maintaining traumatic things, like to kind of keep them sort of safe within us, because when we start to heal them, then we have to confront them and feel them and process them and release them. And that's a whole thing, that's a whole process. Like you're going through that right now. You're going through confronting like a deeply held trauma, and you're processing it and you're releasing it. And you've had to get yourself to this point in your life where you are even capable of doing that, because it's a huge thing to do. And you can't just open up a trauma in the middle of anywhere. You have to be in the right place, the right time, the right setting to do that. Okay? Whew. Wow. So you're going to be physically changed from releasing this trauma. Like you are going to look different. The like brightness in your eyes will return. The glow in your appearance will return. Like you are going to have changes like that are releasing sicknesses from the body, releasing patterns. Because sometimes when we have trauma, like it literally can show up physically, like in physical symptoms and physical illnesses, but also even in our physical appearance. So I'm seeing like your physical appearance is going to be changed. You're going to be looking more free. Like people are going to look at you and be like, wow, you look really free. You look really healthy. There's something about your health. I keep getting health with this group. It's like you're just going to be looking really healthy. The other thing I'm getting is that you're going to reach some kind of a destiny point in your career. This trauma clearing that you're doing is so worth it, because it's reaching you to midheaven, the pinnacle, the thing that you are desiring for your career, whatever that looks like for you, the thing you're desiring for, like how you feel like you found your purpose, you found your place in the world, and you're being of service. It's that kind of energy. It's like, where do you want to be of service? How do you want to be of service to the world? That's what you're manifesting, and that's what you're creating, and that's what you're going to be giving to the world. Like I'm just seeing you getting to this point, like this arrival. It's like you're arriving at this new level of embodiment and this new level of showing up in the world and being of service and doing your thing and being seen. Yeah, you're really going to be be seen. And I think that you're not going to be afraid to be seen, or you're not going to have any of these self-sabotaging things that have held you back subconsciously. It's like you're really clearing a deep, deep layer of that, and it's going to be very noticeable. It's going to be noticeable in your appearance, in the way that you embody yourself, in the way you hold yourself. It's going to be evident and in the way you talk, in the way you speak. It's going to be evident as well in the way that you are now manifesting a greater level of success that was not previously available to you. Because the stuff that you're working through at this time, like it was literally blocking you from this level of success coming in for your life. Yeah, so get ready for career success, group 1, and really keep going at this time, because you're going to have, it's sort of this full package of embodiment, because for some reason I keep getting embodiment is part of your career. So maybe for some of you are meant to be seen as part of your career. Like you're meant to be public in some way with the midheaven card. You're meant to be on the stage. You're meant to be seen, because midheaven is like the highest point, the most visible point in the chart. It's about like the sun shining onto you. Like the midday sun, you know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of energy I'm getting. So it's like the midday sun is like all of this light. So some of you, this process might be you getting out of the darkness, like out of any patterns of like, I keep getting holding yourself back. And it's not conscious. Like I feel like you've wanted this for a while, if you wanted to be of service in some way for a while, or to be more integrated in the world, more embodied in the world. But there's been this traumas in you that's been holding you back, and you're processing them, and you're letting go of patterns that were keeping you stuck, whether it was toxic relationships or toxic food, toxic substances. Like something is being purged and detoxed out of you, and you're releasing it. Or just the fear of being seen, the fear of really stepping into your power. What does that mean? Because it really is our power that we are more afraid of. I feel we are more afraid of our power than our shadow. And so you're really like tackling certain things right now, and be very, very aware of the patterns of self-sabotage as they may try to resurface during this period of cleansing and clearing and detoxing and healing deep, deep traumas. All right, group 1, that is your reading. I'm sending you so much love and light. If you would like to check out that root chakra clearing that I just did, Return to Belonging, it is beautiful if you're trying to manifest more of a sense of, I suppose, embodiment in the world. But also if you're looking for soul family, soul tribe, and help clearing trauma, it's a really powerful light language activation. The link will be in the description. I'll also pin it in the comments for you. And I'm sending you so much love and light. Take care. Hello group 2 and welcome to your reading. So your divine inheritance is very deeply connected into the new earth energy and the new earth shift. I feel like you are a leader for the new earth. You are a contributor to this new earth energy in a major way. And one of the things that I feel is manifesting for you next as part of your divine inheritance is actually a sense of community, a sense of belonging. So this group in particular, you would really resonate with the new Root Chakra light language tape I just released, Return to Belonging. It is a beautiful, beautiful transmission. If you resonate, like I said, the link is in the description. It just really resonates with what's coming through in your reading right now, so I had to say it. But this is all about soul family and uniting in with soulmates. Soulmates of all forms. Soulmates come in many different forms. It's romance. It's also friendship. Can be relationship with children or family. Can be mentorship, teachers. Just like community, though, as this card says. I feel it's sort of like a broad spectrum for you of relationships. And the rainbow energy in this card makes me think of the 10 of Cups, which is really the new earth card for me in the tarot deck. It's all about utopian love, and that's the energy that I feel you hold within yourself. Like you hold the codes of a utopia. Like you have this utopian sense of like love and knowing how to love others, and what you offer in relationship is really sacred and really special. And I feel that for whatever reasons, it hasn't fully, like there's been some level of disconnection within your community or disconnection within your sense of belonging or your sense of finding your people or your person. And I feel that changing for you karmically now. Like your divine inheritance is that you are not meant to be alone. Okay, you're not meant to be alone. You're not meant to. I feel like you've got things to do. You've got things to do with these people. You've got things to do with these connections. Like I'm seeing you doing new earth events, beginning new earth projects. Like I'm seeing a huge amount of creativity like that you're meant to do with others. You're meant to come together and maybe like run retreats or open a healing center or I don't know, go camping, go on adventures. There's something here where it's like your energy, though, it doesn't even have to be like particularly of being of service to others, although I feel like it will be like that for a lot of you. But even if you just went on an adventure with these soul friends or this soulmate, like that in itself would actually be a way of bringing the new earth together. Because it's kind of like your love, like the love that you hold is your purpose. The love that you have between you within relationship, that is what is bringing in the new earth. So it doesn't really matter what you do. But I feel that because the love is so great and it's so abundant, like the amount of love that you feel when you're around these people or this person is so big that you just want to share it. Like it's like a love that's overflowing where you're just going to want to end up sharing it. You're going to want to start to share on social media, or you're going to want to start to share through like offering healing services or running retreats or doing, I don't know, like creating your own festival. Like I'm seeing a very like festival kind of vibe, like, you know, a music festival or some kind of arts festival. I'm just seeing like a hugely creative, expansive time where you come together and you start to create things, and there's a real sense of it being very aligned with the new earth energy, the new earth frequency of like utopian love. And collaborating, that's the word. It's like you collaborate together and you each bring kind of unique skill sets and offerings, and it's like you want to put on an event, or you want to run a workshop, or you want to do a festival, or you want to, I don't know, start a band or put on an exhibition. There's something here that's very creative. It's a very creative energy. You might like start a business together, like start some like, I don't know, ethical like clothing brand and do all the designs. Like there's something very, very cool. And I feel cool. I just feel like it's very, very creative and it's very infinitely abundant. Like there's going to be a sense of really activating one another. Because there's three hands depicted here. But at first I only saw two. So it might just be like the two of you to begin with, and then more people kind of come in. But I feel like there's going to be a little collective that you have, like a little creative collective that's like this group where you kind of put on events together, or you run retreats, or you open a business or a healing center, or you start a YouTube channel, or they just like really activate and support you in something that you're here to do with the new earth. Like you may still like maintain an independence in your career or in your profile online or something. But there will be some level of collaboration. And I feel like you're going to really enjoy that, because I feel like you've been a very lone wolf kind of person. There's been a maybe out of necessity or maybe out of choice or both, a bit of both. But I just feel like part of your divine inheritance is that you're actually meant to have friends. Friends. You're meant to have friends. You're meant to have a sense of community, a sense of like sharing the load, especially if you have children at this time or if you plan to have children. I feel like you're meant to, or if you don't know if you're going to have children, like, well, I don't know, I'm getting children. I'm seeing children and I'm seeing like a community. Like you know how they say it takes a village to raise a child? I'm just seeing like that part of like the new earth energy is really us cooperating and like living in harmony with one another and like helping each other in life, so that things don't feel like it's all this burden on like your shoulders, you know, where you have to do it all alone. And for some reason I'm seeing children. So for some of you, this could be meeting someone that you actually end up having children with, or there's some children, you meet someone who already has children. I don't know, I'm seeing all these children running around and they're so happy. Yeah, and I'm getting a very like kind of earthy, like very like laid back, like down to earth energy. I'm seeing a lot of like just having fun, like, you know, the energy if you go to like a really alternative music festival or something, and the energy there is just like everyone's kind of just being themselves. They might be dressed really differently and everyone's kind of alternative and got their own thing going on, and it's like a uniqueness, like everyone's unique. Some of them might be hippies, some of them might be different, like there's all kind of like different energies coming together, and there's this level of like acceptance and love. And I'm just seeing that as you start to manifest this soulmate relationship, like your life just continues to kind of improve and expand. Like I feel this soulmate energy, it really helps to expand things in your life. Like things keep multiplying. Like I keep getting this abundance energy where it like keeps multiplying. And I'm getting scenes a lot in nature of like, you know, like people living in van life, or people camping, or people doing music festivals or gatherings of some kind, like New Earth gatherings, doing performances, workshops, selling like, you know, markets where you sell handmade things, or farmers markets, or community gardens, or wow, there's just so many ideas coming in. Like there's just so much, like retreat centers, healing retreats, travel adventures. There's a lot. And like I said, you don't even have to necessarily do anything, because it's spirits, like, I guess I'm getting all of these different examples of what it could look like, but ultimately it's the love. Like spirits wanting me to ground back into like the energy that you share within these relationships is what is manifesting the new earth. And you could be doing nothing with your time and just hanging out at home all the time, and you'd still be manifesting the new earth with this level of love. But the thing is that this level of love feels very inspiring and it feels very activating. Like I feel like it activates something within you that has like for some reason been kind of dormant, or it's been waiting. Like there's some soul connection, soul contract, that's the word I was looking for. Like there's a contract here. When you meet this person, it's like, oh my gosh, we got work to do together. We're meant to do this thing together. It's going to activate a sense of wanting to take action, wanting to start a project, wanting to start something, getting more creative. It might activate latent or dormant creative gifts that you actually hold within yourself that you didn't even realize that you had. Yeah, I'm definitely getting that. I feel like it's going to give you this huge level of energy, and it's also going to make you feel really safe in relationship, because I feel that your points of attraction are going to shift. I feel like a lot of you have come from histories where relationships have not always been easy, or there may have been, you know, you might not have always been felt safe in the world, I guess. You might not have always felt safe or a sense of belonging. You might have had issues with family of origin, some kind of traumas there as well. And that can sometimes manifest like in relationships, right, as we move on. So I'm just seeing something here about healing in relationships as part of your divine inheritance, so that you can have this level of love, so you can have this level of sort of utopian connection that is necessary as we manifest the new earth. And I feel that what it's going to do is going to make you feel different in your body, where you're going to feel like a lot safer. You're going to feel really safe in your body. You're going to feel a sense of like safety and security, where you don't fear meeting people. You don't fear like connections start to feel safe. And even if you meet someone and, you know, you don't necessarily vibe, or you don't necessarily, it sort of just like doesn't bother you though. Like I'm just getting this like sense of fearlessness as you move out into the world, this sense of confidence, this sense of, I know I'm confident that I can deal with whatever situation I'm handed, rather than feeling like scared or isolated, or wanting to kind of self-isolate from a place of fear and protection and things like this. I'm seeing a shift where it's like you just feel really loved and really accepted for who you are, and you feel this sense of, I don't know, just feeling okay with who you are and how you fit into the world, and feeling a sense of safety and trust in knowing that you can kind of meet the people that are right for you. And if you meet people who aren't right for you, that's okay as well. And there's not so, like, I just see you getting out there more, like getting out into the world, and also some level of confidence I'm feeling with your voice, with your self-expression. Like maybe some of you may have felt, because if you're in the wrong kind of community or you're in the wrong group, then that can make you feel in a way like that you're wrong, kind of, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel that having like the right kind of souls around you is going to make you feel really sure of yourself and really loved and accepted for who you are, and really seen and heard for who you are. And that's going to help you kind of just be who you are and be very authentic, and kind of be like, yeah, I'm not for everyone, but it's sort of like, it's going to give you the confidence as well to be more of yourself, even if it doesn't resonate with certain people. Like there's something, I'm trying to articulate it. It's kind of like being more fearlessly yourself, being more bold, I guess, in who you are. Instead of feeling like, oh, I can't say this because this person doesn't agree with me, or this person doesn't get it, or, oh, I don't want to bring this up because I'm in a group of people who, they don't get this, or they don't agree with me, or they'll think I'm crazy, or they'll think I'm nutty, or they'll think I'm woo-woo spiritual or something. It's like that kind of thing where it really messes with your self-expression. I'm just seeing it leaving you with the activation from these people that you're going to be surrounded by, where you're going to feel like a lot more safe in the world, where it's not going to feel this constant string of like being around groups of people or communities where it just doesn't really resonate, or you have to sacrifice your needs, or you have to censor yourself. Like, yeah, it's like censoring. You're not going to feel like you need to censor yourself anymore. There's just going to be this sense of like, yeah, I don't need to do that. I'm okay to just be myself. And you're just going to find yourself surrounded by people who really genuinely inspire you, who are just like doing things and living their life in a way that brings you deep inspiration. It's kind of like you might not even realize that these people exist. You might have been thinking the world's a certain way. Like, you might have been thinking like, oh, there's no one out there for me. There's no one out there in the world that's like, is as quirky as me, or as unique as me, or as, I don't know, spiritual as me. I've never met someone like this. But Spirit's saying it's kind of like an algorithm. Like, with YouTube, it's like sometimes you can just be shown a YouTube channel that you had no idea existed. And you might have even searched that theme before, like for certain content creators, and it's still, they never showed up on your radar. And then all of a sudden they get recommended and you're like, oh my God, this person, I didn't even know they existed. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of what I'm getting but in real life though, where in real life you're going to kind of have people presented to you where you're like, how did I not know you existed? Like, you're so cool, or you're so me, like you're so like me, or I so resonate with you, or I'm so inspired by you and what you do. And I think that you have not experienced this level of relationship before. You've not experienced this level of connection and belonging and feeling like it really lifts you up into the best version of you. And it makes you feel very, very confident and alive, and kind of like fierce and fearless to like take on life in a different way, and to also live out your divine destiny, like whatever that looks like for you. I feel you're going to be really in touch with your destiny. And like I said, you're going to have a lot of energy. It's going to activate you in a way that you've never experienced before. You're going to have so much energy to create and do things. Like, you're going to want to make changes. You're going to want to change the world. Like, I'm kind of getting a bit of a rebirth energy here, where I feel like it's almost going to feel like your life is kind of beginning in a way. And I don't know how to word this, but I don't know. It's sort of like, when the world's your oyster. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, when you're younger, or when you're like just coming of age or something, and you kind of feel like the world's your oyster, and there's so many ways, like directions that my life could go. And then obviously life happens and it doesn't always go the direction I think it's going to go, or whatever, and different things kind of surface or whatever. But I'm kind of getting this rebirth where it's like you're going to feel like you're on a fresh slate, and like everything is possible. All is possible. And I see you just taking massive action, and like kind of being like really stepping into leadership as well, really feeling like supported energetically to be very, very honest, even about very taboo kind of topics or spiritual topics or something like that. Because I'm seeing you may have like felt really like you can't talk about certain things around certain people. Like, I can't talk about spirituality because they'll think that I'm crazy and delusional or something like this. Or I can't talk about truth because they'll think I'm a conspiracy theorist. Or I can't talk about this thing because they don't agree with me. I'm getting a lot of that, and how like that can be tiring and it doesn't make you feel alive. Like that kind of energy, like being around that kind of social situation, it doesn't like light you up. It doesn't give you all this energy. It more like drains you. And I feel like you've lived a lot of things more like draining kind of energies. And I just feel like that's not how you're meant to be. I feel like you've not experienced this level of relationship. I feel like even if you have had moments where you may have had community, or I don't know, friendship groups or something that felt good, or relationships or whatever, I feel like there was a level of maybe you outgrew them after a while. Like you kind of stopped resonating after a while, or you outgrew them and kind of went on to a different phase in your life and stuff like this. So I just feel like this level of relationship is really different, because when you're like with a soulmate kind of connection, it has a different kind of way that it activates you, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, you're going to feel like the world's your oyster, like all is possible, and you're going to want to take big action as a leader of the new earth. I'm seeing you starting businesses or putting yourself out there more in a bigger way, or your energy shifting so that your existing business or social media or career of some kind can take off. I'm feeling your voice really coming in for you, and like I said, not feeling like you're always in situations where you have to censor yourself or kind of monitor how you're perceived, or people misunderstanding you or thinking you're weird or crazy or something like that. All right, so Spirit, let's get a few more cards for group number 2. What do you want them to know about the divine inheritance? Mars, didn't I say you're going to be taking actions? You're going to have so much energy. That's what I'm feeling. You're going to have so much energy. It's going to feel so good, group 2. You're going to have, you know what? This energy has like always existed within you. But, oh wow, look at that. Back of the deck, we have activate solar flares. Wow. Wow, this energy has always existed within you, but it wasn't ready to be activated yet. And now it is. Now it is. Like you're really ready to activate it. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. It's like, yeah. I'm like speechless. Wait, I want to get a couple more cards, okay? I just feel like this is so exciting. This energy for you. Collaborate. You're kidding. Aquarius, did I say you're going to want to collaborate with these people? You're going to have a very specific thing that's like shown to you where you're like, okay, we're meant to do this thing. We're meant to work on this together. We're meant to start a music festival. We're meant to start a band. We're meant to travel the world together. We're meant to start an ethical clothing brand. We're meant to start a YouTube together. We're meant to start a healing retreat center. We're meant to put on retreats. We're meant to put on workshops. We're meant to, oh my God. Conjunction alliance. Oh, you're kidding. You're kidding. It's like the same energy again. Wow. This is so beautiful. And it's such a difference in what you have experienced. Like this is a divine inheritance because you have had to work yourself up to this level to receive this. When it comes in, it's going to activate you like you've never felt before. This is a big deal because we can be activated from things inside of us and things like that. But I feel like I'm trying to articulate it, but like activations from someone else in our world is very different. Like it feels different when I tune into it, and it feels very different. Like being activated by another person or a group of people as well. But I feel like it will start with one and it will grow, or you'll meet people through them or something like this. I'm feeling like it's one and then it's two, because there's 3 hands. So it could be 3 of you, or it could be 2 of you at the beginning, or it could be 2 of you and then you have a child. Actually, for some of you that could resonate. Wow, this is amazing. So you have work to do together, and it's going to become very evident to you. Like it's going to be very, very obvious. You're going to almost have the same vision. Like you're going to have the same divine vision and download. And it's going to happen like you're going to have so much life force energy available to you, because I'm seeing that when I was trying to talk before about like self-censorship in relationships and how that was draining you, I'm feeling like that energy coming through again, where Spirit's showing me that you have been very drained by the relational space, the relational kind of landscape that you've been moving through. Whether you realize it or not, it's actually been very, very draining for you. And I feel that in a way, a part of your energy kind of gave up a bit on relationships. You were kind of like, yeah, I'm not going to get my hopes up, okay, because this usually doesn't go well. Or maybe some of you have tried to like make something work even when it doesn't really work. Like you've tried to just be like, well, this person, like I like this friend because at least I can talk about this with them. Or I don't know, there's something where it's like you've tried to compromise or like make yourself fit in, or Oh, but Spirit's saying like all of that comes from an old paradigm, and this new energy that's coming into your life, you're going to realize how draining your relationships have been, how draining it's been to be in a space where you didn't fit in, or to be in a relationship where your needs weren't met, or your voice wasn't heard, or you weren't really seen for who you are. And having this contrast, like it's going to bring such a contrast into your life where you're going to be like, what? You're going to be like, what? I can't believe it. It's going to be like your little pocket of the new earth, okay? You and this person, these people, you're going to create your own little new earth together. And it's going to be like wherever you go around the world, wherever you travel, wherever you bring your energies, you will bring the new earth energy with you. And that is kind of what you're here to do as well. I'm getting with your activation with the Mars energy, what you're here to collaborate on, what you're here to like bring, is also to bring others into this energy, to bring others into alignment with this new earth energy. And just you being around there will around them will bring others into this frequency, and it will bring them into this sense of community and this sense of purpose and this sense of being activated by this new earth. So that's what you're going to do. Like you're going to work on something that brings this energy to others. I'm seeing something very creative, like some kind of creative or healing arts. Yeah, like especially because, like music, I keep seeing music for some reason, so it could resonate. But, music, it sort of has this way of changing you. Like when you listen to music, it changes your energy, it changes your frequency. And that's sort of what I'm getting. Like you will be doing some project that changes people's energy and that changes the way they feel when they're around it. It will be very tangible, like shifts. And I see that you might also want to work with communities. Like you might want, like, that's why I kept getting the festival energy, like when a lot of people gather, or like smaller settings, like retreats where just a small group of people travel to like come together, or workshops of some kind, or like market stalls where there's lots of different people coming around, or some kind of performing arts. I'm seeing like you might travel with some kind of performance or something like that. It's really, really cool. But like it also is, I feel like you're also just going to feel a sense of just living life to the fullest. Like if you've been feeling like, I feel a bit held back, I feel like I'm not living life to my fullest or something, I feel this divine inheritance is going to change that for you. And you're going to be like, you know what, I'm absolutely living life to the fullest. I am living life. And I just feel like there's not going to be this sense of like, I feel like your days will be filled. Like I'm feeling days being filled with things, days being filled with life. And like, you're not going to think about screens or like social media as much, or, doom scrolling, or you're not going to be like watching heaps of Netflix or something to kind of pass the time. Like I'm seeing something changing with like the way that you spend your time, so that you're just like living life. Like you're in the world. You're in the world more instead of feeling isolated from it. You're in the world more. You're traveling. You're going on adventures. You're doing activities. You're doing physical things. You're going out to events. You're participating in festivals or some kind of like artistic thing, and you're getting inspired constantly by the people that you meet and the people that you're around. And it's like that algorithm thing, like I was saying, where it's like you didn't even realize these people existed. Like I feel like there's been a part of you that's kind of had this narrative that's sort of like given up on relationship, and you might have thought like, you know what, relationships aren't that good, they're overrated, I don't need it, I'd rather just be alone, or I'd rather just do my own thing. And I feel like that's because of the kinds of relationships that you were attracting. That's because of the kinds of people that you're meeting. That's because of the patterns that you were playing out within relationship. Of course it would feel uninspiring. Of course it would feel draining. Of course you might feel better off on your own. But this is all changing. This is your divine inheritance. This is something that you've been working towards. This is part of your soul's plan. This is literally a part of your soul's plan for your life. And I'm seeing just so much fun. Like you're just going to have so much fun. Like life is going to feel like a party. And I feel like you're also going to feel really strengthened as well in fields of belief. I've talked about this a lot, but we are influenced by the people that we are around. And we're also influenced by just like energies. Like for example, living in a community, say, that is very conservative or something, and you're very, very different or alternative, or go against the kind of like norm in some way, that can really impact you and make you feel kind of like, I don't really feel good here. I don't feel safe here in my body, or I don't feel like I fit in. And it's like the fields of belief around us impact us, or the fields of disbelief. Like if you're around a whole community that doesn't believe in magic, or that, thinks doing tarot or something is a sin or whatever, but you love doing it, that's going to impact you. That's going to impact your energy and your ability to kind of believe in yourself and believe in magic and believe in what is really here. So I feel like the group that you're going to be in, the community that you're going to be in, the friendships, the love relationships you'll have and foster and cultivate, it's going to make you believe in magic every single moment of your day. And you're going to manifest together magical things that prove magic is real to you constantly. Like you're going to see fairies, you're going to see orbs, you're going to have magical synchronicities, you're going to have very lucky breaks that just happen out of nowhere. Like you all of a sudden get this money, or you all of a sudden get this opportunity or this free thing. And it's going to constantly happen because of the frequency that you're on, and because you kind of hold each other up in that frequency of love. And I just feel like this is so destined. Like this is totally your divine inheritance, and it's so been destined. With the Mars energy, like you're going to be, I'm seeing very active. Like I'm seeing you being very active in life. Like for example, like I'm seeing this being a change as well. Like you might have come from a period of doing a lot of rest and inner healing work, or doing a lot of things on your own, or not having very good energy levels and stuff like that. And I'm just seeing this really changing, where it's like you're going to have the energy to like create, to work, to exercise, to go on hikes, to go on swims, to go on adventures, to go camping, to go like traveling, to go out to different music festivals, to gigs, to just like living life and being in the world, and just like doing things that in the past would have made you feel maybe really drained, or you would have been able to just like, I don't know, had to take a lot of time to recover, or just like been like, oh, I can't be around people's energy for too long. I'm just seeing that really shifting for you, and you feeling kind of like safe and bolstered up by these people, where like I was saying, even if you meet someone and they're not for you, maybe in the past they would have triggered you. I just feel like in this case, when you're around these people, when you're in this different frequency, when you've had all this energy activated in you, it's like it's not going to bother you that much. You're just going to be like, yeah, whatever, and kind of just like have these natural kind of boundaries in your aura where that energy really doesn't impact you. It's really going to really like elevate you to a higher frequency. And I feel as well, you're going to all have this shared vision for the new earth. You're going to have a very shared vision as well for like what you're here to do, like how you're meant to be of service, how you're meant to make an impact. Like you're really going to have a clear download of like, I have a mission and I'm here to do this mission. And you might all have unique roles, but it's like you're all going to support each other. But I do see a collaboration because it came through like in such a big way. I feel like there will be some specific thing that you collaborate on. And I really feel this sense of like bringing communities together and bringing them into this energy. Because for example, if you run your own retreat, or if you run your own music festival or something, then you're also like planting in, like you're grounding in the energy that people will kind of experience as they walk through that gates, as they walk through that door. Like you're controlling the energetic environment that people are walking into, that people are coming into to contribute to. And I think that's something Spirit wants you to do with these people, is to create kind of these energetic pockets of new earth energy. So when people come in, they get elevated up into this frequency and they come into this energy and they're like, whoa, I just had a vision, or I just had this shift in my energy, or I feel so much love for all beings. Like I feel like I've let go of, fear around relationship or whatever. It's going to be so powerful, and you're going to be constantly inspired by people. I'm feeling a really open heart energy as well, where you just feel really love for people, and you feel love for people wherever they are, wherever they're at in their path, whatever stage of healing that they're in. You're just going to meet them with love. You're going to have this real deep love for them. And that's going to really shift how you are experienced as well by others. Wow. So get ready for a huge energetic activation. Like you're going to have a lot of energy. You're going to be doing a lot of things. Like I said, you're not going to be sitting there on your phone or on social media or watching Netflix. You're going to be out there living your life like 110%. You're going to have a full life, a full existence. And it's going to feel great. I feel like you might have multiple projects. You might have multiple things going on. You're like, I'm going here, I'm flying here, I'm doing this thing, I'm traveling here, I've got this holiday planned, because it's going to be work and play. Like I'm seeing both. I'm seeing it's going to be both. You're just going to be also like daring, like with the Mars energy, feeling more daring to try new things, to become a really self-actualized version of yourself that is really something in you is being activated, like so much energy being activated within you that's always been lying there dormant. And that's why you've had this sense at times, I'm sensing in this healing journey that you've been going through, you've had this sense at times of like, there has to be more than this. There has to be more to life than this. Or I'm capable of so much more than this. or even I'm worth more than this. There's something here where it's like you may have felt like you've been held back in life a lot. And I feel like this divine inheritance is that changing and you really feeling like you're reaching your potential and getting a lot of feedback as well from the world being like, oh my God, I love your work, or I love this thing you've put on. I love this festival. I love this retreat. I love the healing workshops you offer. I love this group. Like I come into your group and I feel instantly at home, or I feel instantly loved, or I feel instantly accepted and connected. And that's just going to feel so good having that feedback and also seeing tangibly the impact that you're having on the world and the ways that you are grounding in the new earth frequency. Wow. So group number 2, an amazing reading. I really recommend you check out the Return to Belonging light language tape because I just feel like it's so perfect for where you are and the divine inheritance that you're coming into. I feel like it would really help just like kind of with the ending, like just ending the cycle of just healing so you can kind of get on with this amazingness, this activation and like the new earth role that you're here to do and kind of getting back out into the world. So check it out. It's in the description box below. But I'm sending you so much love and light. Take really good care. Hello, group 3. So you chose Pluto with rebirth, and straight away I'm feeling like your divine inheritance has been really hard earned. Like you have really fought for this and just going to feel so good and so complete when this comes in. I feel like there's a completion here of a cycle that you've been going through, and it's going to feel very obvious when it is done. It's going to feel very obvious. This divine inheritance will not be subtle. It's going to like pack a punch. It's going to be really obvious that you have this divine inheritance like in your life now. It's going to be really, really clear. So Pluto, I've heard Pluto described by astrologers as being almost like a bulldozer that comes through your life and tears down sort of existing structures, existing relationships, existing patterns in order for something new to be rebuilt. And it can be a slow process. Like I feel that there might have felt sort of a bit slow, this cycle that you've come from, but you've been working at the deepest levels. That's what Spirit wants you to know. You've been working really at the deepest levels possible to make this change. And what is being rebuilt is so much more in alignment with who you really are. And it's going to feel really good. So let's get some more cards for you. Group 3, Spirit, what do you want them to know about their divine inheritance, about their rebirth? Moon, perception. Yeah, I feel like there might have been some kind of like mystery that you've been working on this. Maybe people don't know you've been working on yourself in this way, or maybe you haven't known all the time. Like there's been some kind of mystery, like you haven't known exactly what's like being built here, exactly what's kind of going to come from this, but you've had like a blind faith, kind of like a faith. Wow, look at this card just came out, Jupiter. You've had to have a blind faith. Wow, abundance. Wow, let's get a couple more. All right, Spirit, what do you want them to know about their divine inheritance? So for you, it could very much be about money, but abundance in all areas of life, like just the abundance where you're in the abundance frequency rather than in the fear or scarcity frequency. I'm seeing the abundance frequency taking over. And like I said, it's going to be really obvious when this comes in. Some of you, this could be about making actually a lot of money. We just had the sun pop out as I said that. So yeah, for some of you, this is actually about money, like a lot of money. like kind of a ridiculous amount of money. I feel like that could be actually part of your divine inheritance. I'm getting that for some reason, that you actually, even from a past life, are owed some big sum of money. Like it's meant to be part of your like karmic cycle journey in this life to experience a lot of abundance, like financial abundance. You're meant to have a lot of money, like millions kind of money, like millionaire. Maybe some of you even billionaire, I don't know. Depends on your karma, depends on what you're here to do. But yeah, I'm getting like that scale, like a really like high, like very large scale of money. Really, really interesting. So that's what I'm getting though. And I feel like that you've had to clear like a lot of karma. It's been immense. And I feel like there's been a lot of the time where you felt sort of like kept in the dark. With the sun as well, that is also talking about, like, I feel like for some of you, this could actually be about being seen in the world in some way for your work, maybe like being famous in some way, being elevated to some level of fame. I feel like you might have been famous in a past life. That's what I'm getting. I feel like you might have been famous in a past life. There's some kind of karma here with the Pluto rebirth. Yeah, and that now that's making me think about reincarnation. Like in your past life, something was incomplete, or it was meant to always continue into this life. Like there was something from your past life where you were owed a lot of money, or you were meant to have a lot of money and it was taken from you. Like I'm kind of getting the energy of you deserved to be paid a lot of money for something, but it was somehow taken, like it was somehow stolen, or you were tricked or manipulated or deceived, or some like negative thing happened to you where like someone, or you were manipulated into like turning that money down, or something, yeah, where it's like your creation, or someone else took credit for it. That's the other thing I'm getting. It's like maybe someone else took credit. Like if you created something or invented something and then someone else came and like took the money, like they were like, yeah, great, I'll put my name on it and make like billions of dollars from this, thanks. And then it's sort of like that injustice is meant to be paid, like that wrong is meant to be made right in this life. Like it's meant to be made right. Like there's some justice that's going to be delivered to you, and for some reason it involves money. It involves having a lot of money and like getting paid almost by the universe. I'm getting like a lot of money though, like not just, comfortable living. I'm getting like millions, like being a millionaire or a billionaire kind of level. And I feel like you were famous somehow in a past life, or you were meant to be famous in a past life, and somehow that may have been taken from you in some way. You may have had, I'm getting something to do with like, maybe you put your trust in the wrong person, like a manager or something, and they kind of like mess you up. I'm kind of getting as well the music industry. You know how the music industry, there's often kind of like really predatory, like in mainstream music, there's like predatory kind of producers and stuff who will like make a contract where the musician's like creating all the art, but then they get like hardly any money for their art, and then it makes the record company really rich and the producer's really rich, right? And then the actual artist is like not really doing that well. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting, where it's like your art created something, or your mind created something that you like were owed a lot of money for, but someone else came in and like took that creative energy from you and used it for themselves and used it to make themselves rich. Whew. So then in this life, you're meant to have that justice paid to you. Like you will be paid for it in a good way. And for some of you, this could be about getting famous again. And like for some of you, it might be you're meant to have, I'm getting actually that you're meant to, okay, for all of you, this is really interesting. You're meant to have the same role in this life that you had in a past life. So it's like if you were a musician in a past life, you're meant to be a musician in this life, and you're meant to have it turn out in a different way where your creative energy isn't harvested and stolen from you. It's instead, you can use it for yourself and get the money and the rewards and the fame and stuff that you might have wanted, and to kind of like fulfill some kind of karmic legacy and also some kind of divine destiny. Or if it was like your mind, your mental kind of ideas that were stolen, maybe you were, I don't know, some kind of an inventor or something in a past life. It's like you're meant to do the same thing in this life, and you're meant to have it go differently this time and have it turn out differently this time. So the kind of karma that you've been working through with Pluto has been really heavy. It's been really heavy. It's been like the heaviest kind of karma that I think you can actually clear on Earth. And that's probably why it's felt like you felt it. Like it might have been a slow cycle, might have been a heavy cycle. Like I said, Pluto is very thorough though. When it clears things out, it clears it out. It's like a bulldozer. It leaves nothing. And then it's completely rebuilt. So you've had to clear the karma from the past life so that life doesn't recycle and repeat in this life. So you've had to really clear it and do the work. And I think with the moon, it's like you've been working a lot in the dark. You've been working a lot with basically, your intuition. Like you've been working with your intuition. You've been working with your subconscious. Like your subconscious has been clearing things for you and leading you to the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. And that's another message coming through. Spirit wants you to know, like you are actually in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. I think that with the moon card, your perception sometimes is like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not ahead enough, or I'm not successful enough, or I'm not making enough money. What's going on? And Spirit saying, actually, you are right where you need to be. For the karma to clear, this is exactly where you need to be. And it is a different path. It might not be a linear path where maybe you, in a past life, you got famous when you were like 19, or you got, you had all this money by the time you were 30 or something. And then in this life, it's gone differently. But Spirit saying like, don't worry, like this is how it's meant to be. And what is owed to you will be paid to you. Like your divine inheritance is actually literally money, which is hilarious, but it could also be fame, success. But it's also like the return of your gifts and the return of your creative energy, because something was harvested from you, okay? This is a very specific message, okay? It's like I said about the creative life force. It's like when the artist gets their art kind of like they get used for their art, they get used for their talent, but then they don't get the sovereignty to kind of like be paid for their art. Like someone else gets paid for their art. It's like that. It's like your energy got harvested and it got caught up in a karmic tie. Like there's some kind of a karmic tie that you have had to free yourself from. Like this life is a lot about freedom, and it's about independence and doing things in a way that gives you the freedom and the independence, not getting involved with predatory kind of managers or investors or something that would take your ideas or would take your art and your music or something and use it for themselves. Like that is a huge part of your life. Is like you cannot repeat that cycle. It's embedded in your DNA. Like you're like, I will not repeat the cycle. Like it's deep within your subconscious, and your subconscious has been keeping you free from that as well. But I do feel like there's something here where you may have felt like part of your gifts have been kept from you. You may have felt like you've been cut off partially from who you really are, from some creative energy you have, some mental energy, some genius that you have or that you are. And you have deep memory, like within your subconscious, because the moon and the Pluto are really deep, like subconscious kind of memories. You may have had those memories as well, where you're like, I know that I'm better than this, or I know that I'm capable of more than this, or I know that I'm meant to be X, Y, and Z, or I know I'm meant to do X, Y, and Z. And you may have felt cut off from that. You may have felt like it's not available to you for some reason. And that's because you've been in heavy karmic like battles, I want to say, for some reason. I feel like with the Pluto card, like you might really have met something evil in your past life, okay? And I don't say this to scare you. It's like we're in duality. It exists, okay? It's just really what I'm feeling. I'm just telling you what I feel. It's like you may have met something quite evil in your past life, like really met some kind of like, you know, like an underbelly like of the world where it's not always like in your face, but like there can be these kind of infiltrations into industries, into like, I mean, almost getting like secret society energy as well. Like this is really interesting. Kind of like how if you look at, I don't know, say a music producing company, you would think like, oh, they're just like, you know, helping artists and making them, you know, making their careers and helping them to, you know, get their music out there. But then it's like what's really going on might be something really dark and really sinister. And it's like you met with that in your past life. Like something happened in your past life where you met that and you saw that shadow. You saw beyond the veil, the moon perception. You could perceive something that was hidden, that was secret. And it really has impacted you at a soul level because you've had to integrate the understanding of evil, good and evil, and the way that energy, when it's from the light, because you are really from the light. Look, sun and moon, how interesting. It's like duality. The sun is like light and the moon is like dark because the moon comes out at night, right? It's like you have this sun, like this creative energy, this connection to spirit, like fuels your creative energy, your creative life force, your ideas, your inventions, something like this. And then it's like it was somehow that was taken by like some darker underbelly of the world that wanted to like use it for their own things and like steal your energy. It was like harvesting your energy. Whoa, this is really specific, okay? Whew. So let's get one more card to complete this spread. Spirit, what do you want them to know about their divine inheritance? What do you want them to know about their divine inheritance, please? What do you want them to know about their divine inheritance? Neptune, vision. Wow. So this is, again, you've really had to learn about like what's really going on, because Neptune can talk about illusions, like things that we don't really see clearly, and so can the moon. Really, really interesting energy. So Neptune is also about like having a higher level spiritual vision for your life, like having like an idealistic kind of perception of what you want for your life or what you want for the world. And I feel like you do have this, but I feel like you're really this energy here. You're really the Jupiter and the Sun energy. And I feel like this is the energy you've come up against in your past life, and Neptune and the moon energy. I'm going to try and break it down for you, okay? So it's sort of like we have the duality, and it's sort of like you're on the side of duality that's really connected into spirit and to the divine, and then there's a side of duality that's more disconnected from spirit and the divine. And the side that's disconnected from spirit and the divine, they can often try to like use the energy from people who are connected to spirit, like their creative ideas or their art in some way can be like sort of used because they might not have that natural creative impulse, and then it can be sort of they can trick people into thinking like, yeah, this was just my idea, or this was my music, or yeah, this artist is getting paid when really they're not getting paid. It's something like that, where it's like something was done and you got swept into this karmic energy. Wow. So I feel like there's also been a fear in you, like deeply held with Pluto, because Pluto talks about our deepest fears. Really interesting. Pluto is about our greatest potential, but within that greatest potential is our deepest fears. So it's like, in order for us to reach our greatest potential, we have to face our deepest, darkest fears. The kind of fears that we do not want to face because they're too scary. The kind of fears that might even seem irrational or paranoid to other people. And I feel like you're like, in order for you to come into this divine inheritance, you will have had to have faced deep, deep, dark fears in your life. That's a huge part of this divine inheritance, is the overcoming of fears that may have kept you paralyzed, or that may have kept, like, I feel like part of what has been keeping you from certain gifts or talents or fame or fortune or something like this, the inheritance part, it could be gifts, could be talents, could be fame, could be fortune, it's any of those, is the fear of really stepping back into your power, because you shining so bright in your past life made you vulnerable to being targeted by dark forces, kind of thing, and sort of the underbelly of the world. Kind of like a conspiratorial kind of energy is what I'm getting. And it was very illusionary. Like, other people may not have seen this for what it was while you were alive. Like, people may not have seen what was really going on. There may have even been, I'm getting like it could have really been quite dark. Like, I'm sort of getting, how sometimes musicians and stuff, or artists of some kinds, they can be like abused by their managers or abused by like the production companies or something. Is that kind of energy I'm getting, that's really like dark kind of stuff that isn't really seen by the world. Like, people don't, that your average person might not really know about this, because it's not really like in your face. It's not in the mainstream news. It's something you may have to learn through experience or through kind of more alternative news channels and stuff like this. So I'm getting it's like something you were involved with wasn't seen by the world around you. Like, it wasn't visible to others. It wasn't obvious to the world that you went through this, or that you were stolen from, or that your energy was harvested, or that you were abused in some way, or that you were manipulated or lied to or tricked or deceived, or that this like underbelly kind of like were using you for their own reasons. So there's been some fear here around you stepping back into your power and like stepping back into the light in this lifetime, really stepping into the light, because with the sun, it's like you're here to shine. Like, you are connected to source, to God, to all that is, and you are here to bring that through you and into your creative endeavors, like whatever it looks like for you. For some of you, I'm feeling you're very creative in your mind, like the way you think. You might be an amazing thinker, philosopher, writer, speaker, teacher, leader. For others of you, it's very creative, like in a more traditional kind of creative arts way. Some of you could be a really creative spiritual healer or leader of some kind. But there's something about your ideas were hijacked. Your ideas were hijacked, your energy was hijacked, your art was hijacked. It was hijacked by these other forces, and then like you lost power over it, and it felt like something that you couldn't get justice for in that lifetime. Like, you left that lifetime feeling like there was a justice that was not paid to you. There was an injustice. It was not fair. Okay, so then this lifetime, part of your divine inheritance is money, fame, like being back in that role, but being in it in a new way, where you're not going to be corrupted, or it's not going to be, the experience won't be corrupted, I guess. And there might have even been, I said you won't be corrupted, so there might have even been something where you felt like your free will, my throat chakra just went. There might be something where you felt like your free will was used against you in some way. Like, you might have been tricked into signing a certain contract, or you might have been, so it's like you gave your consent, but it's like you felt tricked, or you felt coerced, or I don't know, there's something here around, like, it felt really messy, it felt really dark, it left a real impact on your soul, and it's been something you've been dealing with in this lifetime. And the kinds of fears that you might have, like, people might be like, you're really paranoid or something. Like, they might feel like, what are you even talking about? There's no there's nothing to be afraid of. And you're kind of like, yes, there is. I got to be really careful. The other thing with these two cards is like, you might not have seen it clearly in your life. It might have been something that became clearer once you crossed over into the non-physical, where you saw the deception, you saw the trickery, you saw the way you were groomed, or you saw the way you were stolen from or harvested from. And then you had this real energy of like needing to finish it off. You needed to finish the business. There's like unfinished business. It needed to be finished and worked through in this life. And I think that one of your gifts actually like is that you're really good at seeing through deception, you're really good at seeing things. Like, you have a really powerful ability to actually perceive things, and your vision, like your clairvoyance, is really, really good. Or that's one of the gifts you're meant to have if you haven't already. But I still think you have a strong intuition that's kept you really safe in this life. Like, I feel like you're really aware and almost suspicious. Like, I get an energy from you. It's almost like scorpionic. It's like a bit Plutonian. Like, you might be a bit suspicious, or you might be like really, really able to see the darkness in the world, really able to see deception or evil or lies or trickery, and be like, yeah, and kind of like not naive. Like, I feel like there's an energy in you of, you understand evil or something more than most people do. And I think that other people might have even tried to like gaslight you and be like, come on, there's like nothing to be afraid of. Why don't you just do it, or just try this? And you're like, no. And your intuition has kind of kept you in a certain way like safe, because I feel that there's a time and a place for you to put yourself out there again in this way that's going to like complete this karmic cycle. And doing it too early would have maybe repeated the same pattern from your past. So you've definitely learned a lot since that lifetime. Like, whether you were aware of the trickery and the deception in that lifetime, like, I'm kind of getting it, either you weren't aware and you were kind of deceived until you passed over and then you saw it for what it was. Or there might have been someone really close to you who thought was your friend, and they weren't. They were actually like kind of using you, or like manipulating you in some way, or lying to you in some way. Or you did know what was going on, but the world around you didn't. Kind of like someone who is famous or on the world stage or something, and they're being kind of mistreated or abused or something behind the scenes, but the whole world doesn't know it. The whole world thinks they're happy and have the best life ever. And kind of like that kind of energy, where it's like people's perception was that everything was fine, but it wasn't. So yeah, you learned a lot about perception and kind of like what it means to see through illusion, and what it means to see through it when maybe other people can't, or what it means to not be able to see through it and to get deceived and tricked and have your energy kind of stolen from you. And so yeah, there's been a real big like karma clearing. Like, this is a very deep energy for you that you are really clearing here. You're really, really clearing. Ooh, it's huge. Like, I can't articulate enough just how big this feels for you, just how big this karma clearing has been, because it's been sticky. It's been like stuck, and you've had to really work with it and really go through a rebirth with the Pluto energies, and really face your deepest, darkest fears. But I think you might have noticed recently that you have been facing fears, like that the fear may have been getting less. Like you're getting closer, I guess, to this point where you're going to be in the sun again. You're going to be shared with the world again. Your work, you're coming full cycle from that past life, and you're going to be back in that role that you were in your past life, with the abundance, with the success, the eyes on you, the fame, and whatever it looks like for you. But really with this claim over your own life force in this time, really a claim over your own creative energy in this time, this form, this life. But I think that recently you might have noticed like your fears have been getting a bit less strong. Like, your fears have been reducing a little bit, because you've been processing things and releasing those fears a bit. I feel like it's going to be really obvious when this divine inheritance comes in. Like, it's going to be not subtle. And what it's going to feel like for you is that it's going to feel like you are finally able to expand. Like, restrictions have been taken away and you can come into the fullness. Like, I think that this group, you will have known that something has been taken from you, or something has been, it's like inside of you, but you can't access it. There's like a door that's been shut and locked inside of you, and you're like, I know there's something more here for me to access, but it hasn't been available to you karmically. You've had to work through fears and karmic things from the past life, like hangovers from the past life. And so then it's sort of like this door opens and you feel more like whole and integrated, and you have maybe latent like abilities come back to you, or powers activating within you, or success finally expands in your life, or abundance finally comes in for you, something like this. So it's going to be like very obvious, and it's going to feel very expansive. Like, you're going to feel very free. I'm feeling freedom. Like, you're going to feel very free. Like, oh my gosh, I feel so free. I feel like something, like a wholeness. And from there, I feel like you're just going to really want to take off. Like, your life will just take off in a big way. You're not going to feel like you've been held back. I'm feeling like the energy you've been at a red light. You've had to stop at this red light, and you've been waiting and waiting and waiting. And then finally it goes green, and you're like, okay, I'm off. And you're off, and you're like going and living life and experiencing the world. I'm hearing finally as well. Like you've had to have so much faith and so much trust in the process. And I feel like it's been really frustrating. And there may have been times where you're like, is this all that there is? Am I ever going to get anything more than this? But Spirit's like, no, like you know, like deep down, you know who you really are. You know how powerful you are. You know what abilities that you have. It's just that you've been on this karmic journey. And I think that the fears, and it's not just fear, because fear makes it sound like self-imposed. Like I feel like there's been genuine karma that's had to clear. Like you've had to go through a rebirth process. Just like when I said Pluto's like the bulldozer and it breaks down like a whole structure so that something new can be rebuilt. And it's like, you know, that takes a while. It takes a while to like break down, like bulldoze the house, and then say it's a house, like bulldoze the house and then clear away all the rubble, and then, you know, lay the foundations and then build the new home and then paint and then get all the garden done. And then finally you can move in and you get that rebirth, you get that new life, you know, that you've been working on for so long. So it's slow, but it's thorough. You know, at least you know that it's thorough and that it's done. Once you complete a Pluto cycle, you're done. It's not going to come back. You're not going to, you know what I mean? It's not flimsy. It's done. It's solid. So this rebirth that you're going to feel, you're going to have like this divine inheritance that you're coming into, it's going to feel very solid. It's not going to feel like it's flimsy and what if it's taken away and what if I have it and then I lose it again. It's going to feel really, really solid. And really like you know that it's with you because it's a part of you. Like this abundance is an extension of you. This light is an extension of you. This fame is an extension of who you really are. And fame, like if you don't want to be famous, then don't worry about it. But for some of you in this pile, you really are meant to be, because I kept getting that you were famous in a past life and you're meant to be in this life. Or something about you was seen in a past life. Because sometimes someone's like famous, but it's only in a very niche community. Like it's only like, you know, some scientist that no one really knows about, or some author that's a really specific kind of author. So take it how you want to take it. But yeah, you definitely were taken notice of though, right? That's the key thing to take from that past life aspect. Like you were taken notice of for your abundance of creative energy, your abundance of, you were gifted, like definitely. And I feel like in this life you felt kind of held back. You've kind of felt stunted or something. Like there's been a part of you that's like, why isn't this working out for me? Like, and I think as well, because you had the memory, like some of you became famous really young in that life. And I think that in this life you kind of thought, well, isn't it just going to repeat the same way? And then it hasn't, and it might have made you feel insecure, like what's going on? This is not how it's meant to be. But Spirit's saying just like hold strong, okay? You're working with the Pluto. You're working with Pluto energy. Like you are a Plutonian person. Like you have been through things. And you carry that with you, and it actually will inform your work in a very deep way, in a really beautiful way. So yeah, it's going to feel really expansive. It's going to feel like finally the mystery is over, like the things that have been kept in the dark for you, like the ways in which you've been working subconsciously but not really knowing sometimes what's going on, or you've been felt like you've been kept in the dark, or aspects of your gifts have been in the dark. It's like going to return to you. Yeah, it's going to return to you. And I feel like you're going to feel really safe as well to shine. Whereas I feel there's been fears that you've been working through around shining, whether it's been subconsciously or consciously. There's been fears of like, really, I guess the past repeating itself, whether you knew that or not. Like there's been fears of that happening, and kind of getting attention from the wrong people, getting attention from the wrong kind of energy. Yeah. That's definitely something you're working through, is like healing the trauma of getting the wrong kind of attention, the kind of attention that makes you want to be invisible kind of thing for whatever reason. Makes you want to feel safe again. Yeah, it's like that. The attention that you got made you not feel safe in some way. And you're healing that so you can be shining in the world and be free, ultimately be free. And so yeah, you're going to feel really expanded when this when this divine inheritance comes in. It's going to feel infinite. It's going to feel like you expand infinitely. The abundance is going to feel really good. Like your money, hello, it's going to feel really good having that level of money. Like I said, all of you, I feel are actually meant to, or capable of being millionaires. Some of you even billionaires, maybe, depending on your role here in this world, like what you're meant to do with that money, etc., to change the world, to help the world, etc. It's a lot of responsibility, more money, more problems. No, more money, more responsibility kind of thing. Because if you got billions of dollars, it's like, well, what are you going to do to change the world? But yeah, so Okay, so let's pull one card just to see, is there anything else you want to say to this group, Spirit? I'm going to pull one from this deck, actually, the Sacred Traveler Oracle deck. Spirit, what do you want group 3 to know about their divine inheritance? What do you want them to know about their divine inheritance? We got joy and delight. Open your heart to joy. Well, yeah, it's going to feel really good having this block taken away. You can be free again to just be yourself and kind of have the energy that you were always meant to have, you know? It's like it's like things are returning to you. Like it's a return energy, I feel. It's like coming home to something that you've always have been, that you've always had inside of you, and a destiny that you've always known that you are and that you're meant to fulfill. All right, that is your reading, group number 3. I recommend you check out my Return to Belonging Root Chakra clearing. I feel like it could really help you at this phase of your life, but read about it and see if you resonate. All the links are in the description box below. It was a really powerful light language when it came through. So yeah, all my links for my work is in the description if you would like to check it out. And I'm just sending you so much love and light. Take really good care.